Hi, my name is Brad Majors.
And I'm Janet Weiss. Together, we're going to walk you through a demonstration of a great new software tool that can help you manage your projects and resources more effectively than you ever thought possible.
We're talking about the Budget Cruncher.
The name of the product might suggest that it is only about managing finances. But these days, most organizations are undertaking projects almost non-stop in order to adapt to an ever-changing business environment. Effective management of project resources and expenses has become a critical factor when it comes to maintaining the financial health of an organization. The Budget Cruncher has evolved to address that requirement, providing an application where budget proposals, project management, time tracking, and invoice processing are integrated into a user-friendly software application hosted in the cloud. The Budget Cruncher is available anywhere, anytime, on any device.
In this demonstration, the Lundbeck Pharmaceutical Company will be responding to an urgent request from the World Health Organization to present proposals for the rapid development of a vaccine or other treatment for the Ebola virus. The process will involve creating a realistic project plan and a budget very quickly so that Lundbeck will be awarded a grant to pursue the research and development work. Lundbeck CEO Eleanor Nottingham has decided that she herself will lead a team on a part-time basis if they are awarded the grant. She will assign her top 2 researchers to the project full-time, supported by a contract laboratory technician and administrative assistant who will document results and communicate with the WHO. Ms. Nottingham believes that getting a credible proposal together quickly will provide the best opportunity to be approved for a grant.
The process of putting together the project plan and budget will involve the following steps: setting up a new vendor and adding the contract staff members, customizing properties and roles for the project, setting up the project and tasks, assigning resources to the tasks, adding budget items for genetic materials and some new equipment that can be dedicated to the project, reviewing the proposed budget for the project, adding a timesheet for one of the contracted resources and associating that timesheet with an invoice, reviewing the resource allocations assigned to the project. The whole process will take about 25 minutes.
Okay, let's get started. We're going to assume that the basic information about the organization has already been entered into the system. If we select View, Organization Chart, we see that the company organization in a graphical presentation. Note that external contract resources are clearly identified. View Business Units shows us the organization hierarchy in a tabular form. View Budget Tree displays the budget information in a way that makes it easy to see how amounts roll up.
Before we can start setting up the project, we need to add the external resources needed. We select View Vendors and add a new one. MaxLab Technologies. Note that the vendor number is optional and would have been provided by your accounting department. We then select View People and add the 2 external resources. First, we add Jack Chow. He is an external resource from the vendor we just added, MaxLab Technologies. His billing rate is $75 per hour. He will have the role of laboratory technician, and he will report to the project manager, Hugh Olander. We save the information and add another person. Allison Walker. Allison is also an external resource, this time from Greenleaf Office Supplies. Her billing rate is $35 per hour. She will have the role of admin assistant, and she will also report to the project manager, Hugh Olander.
For this project, we want to keep track of some things that are not part of the standard project definition. We do that using custom project properties. Custom project properties can be free-form fields, choices from a pick list, or dates, and they can be used to store any information that your organization wants to track for a project. We select Admin, Mandatory Project Properties, and add 2 custom properties, WHO Grant Number and WHO Grant Date. We'll create the WHO Grant Number as a free-form field. We'll save that and create another custom project property for the WHO grant date. In this case, we choose the option that allows this date to be null since it will not be known when the project is set up.
We also want to define a new role for this project. We selected Min, Mandatory Project Roles, and Add a Custom Project Role, WHO Liaison. When we define a new custom role, we also have to assign at least one person who can take on that role. To do that, we selected Min, Assign Roles. There are a number of predefined roles in the system. You can define budget approvers and invoice approvers with set approval limits. It is also possible to assign a timesheet proxy who can enter timesheets on behalf of other staff members. And of course, you can add any number of custom roles, as we just did. We will assign the WHO Liaison role to Allison Walker. We also note that Hugh Olander has not acted as a project manager before, so we will assign that role to him.
Now we are ready to set up the project. We select View Projects and create a new project. We'll assign this project to the top level of the organization, Lundbrecht Pharmaceuticals. We'll enter the project name as Ebola Virus Research 2014. We're now going to take advantage of one of the most powerful features of the Budget Cruncher, task templates. Task templates allow you to define a complete work breakdown structure, including tasks and milestones. The template can then be used over and over again if you are working on similar projects. We'll choose the only template defined for this organization, the short duration template. We'll select project initiation as the project phase. Proposed as the status. We'll set the project start date as December 1st, 2014. The grant number will be TBD. The project manager will be Hugh Olander. The sponsor is Eleanor Nottingham. As expected, the only choice available for the role of WHO Liaison is Allison Walker.
After saving the project parameters, we can now review the work breakdown structure. We select View, Project Plan Gantt Chart, and see that all the tasks and milestones have been copied from the template. When the template was attached to the project start date, all task durations were adjusted to take into account the statutory and observed holidays for Lundbrecht Pharmaceuticals, as well as weekends. Another thing to notice about this Gantt chart is that the bars are orange. This indicates that there are no real people named to do the tasks in this project. The assignment of resources to the tasks is an important part of project management, and the orange bars remind the project manager that the resource assignment work is still outstanding. We're now going to demonstrate how some of the dates in the project can be modified from those set by the template.
The first adjustment we will make is to the task Develop Initial Cultures. The President has indicated that she can only devote 25% of her time to the project, but the template assumed 2.5 FTEs for that task. We'll adjust that allocation by selecting Edit and Task Summary Row. As soon as the planned FTEs change, the Gantt chart extends the duration of that task to reflect the lower resource assignment. As mentioned before, an external resource will be used to provide lab support. It will be best if that orientation took place before the rest of the team started working on the project. As a result, we need to insert a task for orientation of this person before any of the tasks defined in the template. We do that by changing the project start date to November 28th by selecting Edit and Project Parameters. Setting the insert task linked to type as start of project. Inserting a new task, external resource orientation at the beginning of the project. changing the start date for the task after the orientation to December 1st by selecting Edit and Task Details. Note that all the tasks have shifted because they were dependent upon the one we moved.
We have now generated the rough outline of what our project will look like in terms of schedule and resources. The Budget Cruncher has used this information to calculate a budget for this project. We can see that rough budget by selecting View, Budget Tree. The budget spans 2 fiscal years because some of the tasks extend into 2015. We can see the total project budget by clicking on either of the links. Here we can see the breakdown of labor costs by project task. We will now refine this budget by adding real resources rather than relying on the assumptions that the Budget Cruncher has made. We do this by selecting View, Projects, then View, Project Plan, Gantt Chart. The first task we'll work on will be the orientation task. We select Edit, Task Details, and click on the Resources tab. The table at the bottom of the screen shows a summary of the current resource allocations and costs based on the assumptions made by the Budget Cruncher. In this case, the assumptions are that all project work will be done by internal resources billed at $70 per hour. These assumptions can be easily modified. We now add an external resource, Jack Chow, and allocate him to this task 100%. We set the capitalization rate to 0 for Jack because labor will be expensed for this experiment. We then add an internal resource, Hugh Olander, also at 100%. You can see that the assignments are now complete and the costs have changed. We will now save this information to the database. Looking at the Gantt chart, you can see that the bar for that task has turned blue, indicating real people have now been assigned to do the work.